How are you guys doing today? Welcome into the live stream. And we can start now. Fancy having you guys here on a Friday where we are going to embark on a beautiful journey. Okay, that was my very failed Texan accent. I'm really bad at doing accents. I can actually do really decent Asian ones though. Like since I was born in Asia, I can do like a Chinese one. I can do a bunch of other ones because, I speak like 6 languages, but just want to say what's up to all of you guys. Welcome into the stream. Thanks for being here. Love and lots of good vibes to all of you guys on this lovely Friday. And we are going to start this pre-market live stream all the way from across the globe, 8,000 miles away. Remember, this live stream is essentially to let you guys sit back and let me do the work. So I do all the condensation and all the summary of all the information that you need, and then I kind of summarize it for you and put it here so you kind of have an easier time to digest it. So let's run through, as I mentioned earlier, in the day today, we have kind of an agenda. We're gonna go do the news breakdown first, and then we'll look at the pre-market movers as usual, do a technical breakdown of S&P, which we always do, and then any other updates. Like sometimes I have updates for oil, and I have some other things that I want to teach you maybe. There were some questions about how to use iron condors and vertical spreads, which I will cover very briefly today. I don't want to get into too much of this because technically there are a lot of videos on YouTube, but stay tuned because right after I'm done with the technical analysis series on YouTube, I will be diving straight into options. So stay tuned for those videos as well. And then, of course, at the end, we'll do a Q&A as always, entertaining any breakdowns and any questions that you have. Thank you so much for being the first like. Show some love, like the stream so that, people and YouTube's algorithm kind of recommends this video to other people. That would help me a lot. Appreciate it. All right, so let's dive straight into it. Bloomberg News is... Oh, let me get my little thingamajig because that's going to be important to annotate. All right, and today's color of the day is going to be red for now. So the country that I was born in, Singapore, is having a pretty bad case of the coronavirus. The expansion has now gone into some dormitories where there were foreign workers, and the cases are now in thousands. Not really pertaining to U.S. equities here, but I just thought I should put that out there. Gilead Sciences plunges after a report that the virus drug trial was unsuccessful, and then later got brought up again on rumors that there was a possibility that the testing or the trial was not done in an adequate manner. So interesting developments there. We saw Gilead drop and then recover yesterday pretty quickly. Gold bars are flying 11,000 miles to New York to ease the supply squeeze, which means that you may see gold start to fly. Literally. And then there was also some stuff about companies seeking for government aid after doing stock buybacks. I think companies like this should just be axed. That's really bad. Like, I don't understand why they would do that. You should put money into your own self before buying back your shares, but who am I, right, to say that? And then, I didn't see anything else here. Nothing on the headlines, nothing of interest at least. This is the article I was reading. On Wall Street Journal, we have a new death toll near 50,000 in the U.S. We have the $484 billion aid pandemic relief that has been passed by Congress and is now going to be signed by Trump today. I think apart from that, there isn't much else. Oh yeah, there was some news about Boeing yesterday. I think companies are starting to cancel more orders, and so this may be causing some downward pressure on Boeing. I personally like waiting for Boeing to bottom a little more over here and then start buying shares. But we'll go into Boeing when the time presents itself. Let's make sure that stream is running fine here. Okay, so go straight into pre-market movers today. Just refresh this really quickly so make sure that I have everything up to date. So it seems like a lot of volume going into petroleum today. However, as I always mention, remember these are all penny stocks, you can say. So I would completely ignore today's pre-market volume because, I mean, even if you bought 100,000 of these, it's $100,000. There's not a lot of volume here to think about it. It may look like a lot of volume on paper, and I don't think it is the right time to get into oil yet. Fundamentally, since nothing has changed, we shouldn't be making any investments in oil that unless two things happen, right? And I've mentioned this many times now. I think maybe 5 times on the previous live streams. The first thing we need is either a 10 to 15% increase in demand. Okay, and the second thing we need, it's an or situation. It's a cut of 10% to 20% of supply. Until and unless one of these two things do not happen, we will not buy oil because it will still consider this may be a temporary buy up and then it will fall again. And I think that's what's about to happen in USO, by the way. So if you're in USO long positions, for maybe June, July, I would get out of those contracts the moment you can. Hold cash, stop investing in oil. If you want to short oil, go ahead and short oil, but don't go crazy too. Like take a risk mitigated position. 5 things to know about the market: stimulus bill passed, the grim data as Europe fails to agree on a recovery plan, stock set to open higher despite lingering drug disappointment on Gilead. And then a chip maker is down after pulling guidance. This was Intel. And oil stabilizes as broker tightens their rules. So this is the reason why oil companies are kind of rebounding here. Okay. Now, I did see an interesting article, and I'm going to post it on the Discord later on today under the news section or somewhere where maybe I'll post in an education chat. And by the way, if you haven't ever been to the Discord, Option Swings Discord, check it out. This is how it looks like. We have a main chat. We have a bunch of different trade channels where trades are called out. We have professional traders like Mike Mas, who gives full breakdowns with his plays. Kevin Fomo, which is a legendary trader, has made almost $1 million in the past, 6 months or something. We have Jim the Legend, who's forever profitable and has extremely very good risk management. And then Members Pick that have a bunch of members that are really great at what they do. They day trade, swing trade, give breakdowns. Technical analysis, we have a flow bot that tracks option flow from different institutional to smart money to golden. And then the educational chat, which I am spearheading and, doing my own thing and helping you guys to learn and give you guys as much of the knowledge that I have learned the past 6 years trading, hoping to bridge some kind of a learning curve that you may have. So if you haven't looked at OptionSwing yet, optionswing.com, check it out. You can't go wrong by trying it out at least for a month. A lot of people make back their their subscription in a day, in 1 day of trading even. Beyond is up another 4% pre-market today. Might want to watch Beyond today. That may be another possible rally, in my opinion. Okay, technical breakdown in SPY. Let's continue our technical breakdown. I did say that we were possibly going to come down. I got to switch to white here. Possibly come down to the 61.8 and the 50 level. This was the level that I was initially aiming for. However, if you look at SPY right now, you can see a head and shoulders pattern on the 4 hour, right? This is the head and this is the shoulder. So we may see a possible downside. The head and shoulder is generally a bearish pattern if we can break this support, which is now the 38.2. You can see that level there. This line is what we need to break. in order to go to a technical correction to the 61.8. If for some reason, which by the way, right now looks like, we failed to break this level and then we've made a higher high, like a higher high, then we may continue the upside. So from a price point view, we do see a head and shoulder pattern, but we need a break below the 38.2 fib retracement, which is from the swing of this low to this high. Okay, just to make it clear. And for people who don't know how to use Fibonacci retracements, essentially you always pick a low to a high and you draw your Fibonacci retracement to plot what it would be like for that retracement to counteract to the opposite side. Okay, because you technically right now the market's not really obeying the standard support and resistance levels. Okay, we also do have a gap here that we kind of fill, but we may see an upside. So this will remain to be seen over the weekend. What I do know is that I'm not swinging anything over the weekend. I'm selling on my positions. I am holding beyond calls, which I bought yesterday, and it's still going to be held today, probably for the first 15 minutes or so. So, okay, so done with the SPY technical. By the way, on the daily chart, it looks like SPY wants to break out above this, but it looks also like it's consolidating sideways. So we'll have to see how this pans out. It could go either way, but I prefer the 4-hourly chart here to kind of see where the pattern is going. Okay. All right, so we're done with the technical breakdown, and next we need to get done any other updates. I don't have any other updates today. I was gonna think about showing you guys how somebody was asking how a iron condor is typically performed. And I just wanted to kind of give you guys a basic idea on how it works. A iron condor is a advanced option strategy where you are doing a couple of things. It's typically made out of 4 contracts, okay? And they would be 2 calls and 2 puts, and you're gonna basically do. Let me draw this out really quickly, and then I can explain it. Okay. Okay. Let's just say like this, and then we make this one. Let's make that one red, and this one red as well. Okay, so you're typically going to sell a call, which will be this one, and then you're going to sell a put, this one, and then you're going to buy a call and you're going to buy a put, the 2 outer ones. So the sells are always going to be in the inside, and the buys for the outer side are always going to be higher or lower. Okay. So essentially what a iron condor aims to do is to lock in your profit within this range. If you think, and by the way, I chose this ticker symbol for a specific reason. It's Coca-Cola, because Coca-Cola doesn't usually move that much. Okay, so iron condors are designed to benefit from theta. Okay, how we usually buy options, they usually drain because of theta. Your value of the option drains because of theta. But because you have a call and a put on both sides, the theta cancels out, and this actually starts to work in your favor. So the theta is actually generating returns for you at this point. What the only thing about this is you need the underlying to trade within the range that you have set. So, for example, you would have to make sure that Coca-Cola trades within this range in order for you to maximize the gains of this contract. If for some reason Coca-Cola broke out of this range, right, then you would start to make a loss of the difference between the outer option. Okay, and so then your maximum loss would be the outer option. But the idea is that this option also slightly pays for this one. You're basically doing 2 spreads, right? And 2 spreads equals to iron condor. So this is a basic idea of how iron condor works. Okay, I don't want to get into too much of detail because I don't want to confuse you guys, but this is a basic idea. Okay, Now the other one is a vertical spread, and the vertical spread is essentially one part of an iron condor. And the vertical spread means that you're essentially going to buy one call and you're going to sell one call, or you're going to buy one put and you're going to sell one put. And typically you would, if you're doing like a call spread, then you would buy the call and sell the call at a higher strike. So let's say you buy the call at here in the money at 45 for Coca-Cola. You need to sell the call at a higher strike, which would be maybe 50. And this would be your bullish call spread, because that's going to lock in your profit for this range over here. Remember that when you buy any call, if you buy any option, okay, this has a debit to your account. Okay, you know what? Let me grab my pen. Okay, so this would have a debit effect if you buy any option. If you sell any option, this has a credit to your account. And this is provided you hold till expiry. Okay. However, for a debit, you don't need to hold till expiry. You can sell anytime. So the idea is, if you buy a spread where you have the call, you're buying the call at this level, and then you sell the call above, you're locking in your profits for these two ranges, and that would be your net profit. Okay. And that's the basis of vertical spreads. Then you can do a bunch of different things, right? You can either what you can do is you can buy a call and sell a call at the same time, and that reduces your cost basis. Let's say you buy this call for $2, right? And then you sell this call for $1, for example, right? That means your net cost was actually $1, right? So that's what people do most of the time. This is what we call a spread. We open up two contracts to reduce the cost of your trade, and therefore making your trade worth having a better chance of success in reducing the cost of the trade, especially if you don't mind owning the shares if you get obligated to buy them. For example, for Coca-Cola, you wouldn't mind if you sold the call here, and you needed to buy the shares back. That's fine. You could technically buy the shares. I wouldn't mind owning Coca-Cola, and then the other thing is you can also you can buy two calls. You can buy a call here and buy a call on the top as well, right? That's another strategy. You can buy a call here and buy another call and average the cost between both of these calls. Or you could, if you're playing the bearish side, you could buy a put here and buy a put here. So basically there's like 4 different types you can do, right? You can buy 2 calls, you can buy 2 puts, you can buy a call and a put, or you can sell a call and a put. And they all have different effects, okay? So go and study this further, because I don't want to get too much into detail. There will be an entire video series that I will do about this eventually. So I just want to give you the basis of how these advanced option strategies look like, and a basic idea so that you don't get too confused. Okay, cool. Let's look at some questions right now. I will pull up some questions. This is an article that I want you guys to read. I'm going to post it onto the Everyday Growth channel later. Please have a look at it. I found it on Seeking Alpha. It's pretty interesting. It's a bearish case, but there's some nice figures and charts here for you guys to read, and the comments are actually kind of hilarious too, so go have a look at it. Okay. I also wanted to go through Beyond, which is a trade that I took yesterday, and kind of give you guys an idea on how or why I entered this trade. So Beyond, I looked at it on the daily chart, and yesterday Beyond was here. Okay. What I saw was Beyond making higher highs, and then I saw a slight a red candle, and then I knew that it's been consolidating for about 2 days, and I knew that SPY had broken out of this pattern that was here. Yesterday, SPY was, I believe, here. It was around here. And I knew that SPY was rallying. It started to rally. And upon seeing SPY rally, I knew Beyond would possibly move with it. Okay. Now, I didn't know that Beyond would make such a monster move like how Roku did the previous day. In fact, this week I've been a little lucky where I got 200% plays in a week. Generally doesn't happen very often. And of course, if you played along with me, congratulations. Like these were really great plays. And they were literally an hour or two, and they were 100% plays, which were awesome. But I want to give you the breakdown on how and why I came down with it so that you learn and see my perspective. So typically with intraday trades, I'm looking at the 5-minute chart, and this is my indicator setup. I've been through this with you guys. I use a triple exponential moving average, a support and resistance by pattern smart, volume and open unbalanced volume. I'm sorry. And I saw that Beyond was hugging this 50 moving average very tightly. And at around, I want to say this level right here, I saw a failure to break this level. However, I knew that it was far too up and needed to retrace down to the moving average. So I waited a little bit and I entered some calls over here. I bought one call at this dip. And then I added 2 more calls at this dip over here, okay? And then, I'm sorry, I don't think this is I think it was here, probably. I think it was here, maybe. I think I'm looking at the wrong time frame. Yeah, it was here, I'm sorry. This was where I added the call. These 2 leg candles. I added 1 here and 1 here to make, 1 here and 2 here to make a total of 3 contracts. And then I saw the consolidation, but it was bullish consolidation. Yellow. I hope that you guys can hear me. I think my net just disconnected. Okay, cool. Dope. Okay, so I saw some nice volume come into Beyond yesterday with the unbalanced volume spike up really heavily. And then I did see very nice volume from the bottom, like the histogram volume as well, which signaled to me that we may see a bigger push up. So along with the moving averages pointing upward, along with it breaking out of this resistance zone over here, I thought it was a good opportunity to go long Beyond. And we've seen this happen with Beyond before, where it goes on a crazy upward trend and it kind of rips like this. I saw this before and I thought, okay, you know what? It could possibly do that. I knew that there was potential for some resistance here, but it broke through it at the end, right? So I decided to play this, and it actually worked out really nicely. Okay, so I'm gonna get into the questions now, and let's see what we have today. Sorry about the little bit of a disconnect there. My internet tends to be bad here in Indonesia. Okay, so can you do a day trade analysis of DKS for support and resistance? I'm the guy who asked from Discord. Oh, okay, sure, no problem. DKS, let's look at DKS, which is Dick's Sporting Goods. Okay, so Dick's Sporting Goods is a company that is probably going to get hit a lot by the coronavirus. First thing that I would say is that, and by the way, I always start with my analysis on the daily chart. Remember, always daily first, and then you zoom into the time frames that you want to confirm your entry and exit. I actually see a possible bullish reversal here. We have seen the sell-off obviously with the market, and then right now I see on balance volume has started to spike, and it's starting to look bullish again. The only thing that I feel is you need to wait for you need to wait for this ticker to try and test this 50 moving average and see where it goes, because this 50 moving average could act as a resistance. It could get rejected here, and then you may see another down. This is basing on technicals, not fundamentals. There is some upside, but it's a very small upside. So the risk to reward ratio here is very slim. Let's say you enter the trade here. Your risk to reward ratio, let's say even if it's here, your stop loss is going to be somewhere here. So this is not a good trade to take, right? Let's say you even push your stop loss. Yeah, your risk is going to be this much, and your reward is only that much. Let's say assuming that the moving average acts as a resistance. So overall, I don't think that this is a good setup for you to take the play for a long side. What you can do is wait for it to test, and if it fails to break, then you can play the downside and set a stop loss somewhere up here at $32 or something. That would make more sense to me. So even though there's a bullish momentum pushing upward, I think it's better to play the downside after you can confirm that it fails to break. I think that's the play here for DKS. That's just my opinion, of course. I could be completely wrong with these things sometimes. Good time to start a long position on airlines like DAL. Seems to be having a hard time to get under 20. DAL, let's look at it together. Cool. I've been thinking about airlines for a long time now, but the problem is that with all countries extending their lockdowns, I don't see the bullish case for airlines yet. And to enter long, to play it for a longer period of time, I just don't see the case yet. I think that you should start to play DAL only when it breaks above this, a considerable resistance, which would be like the 32 level. I want to say this level right here, to play the upside, because we have a saying, right, as traders: never try to catch a falling knife. This is like catching a knife that's just falling, and even though it's consolidating over here, it sucks. In fact, this is the ideal position to play an iron condor, right, that I was talking about. You sell you sell and buy a call. Sorry, you sell a call and you buy and you sell a put, and then you buy a call and you sell a put, and that way you're trading the sideways momentum. So iron condor makes sense over here until we can see a turnaround, and this is one of those cases where you can play an iron condor and gain premium easily. So I would stick away from DAL or airlines for now until we can see a reason to do so, to get in long. I honestly don't like getting long airlines yet, even though I'm very tempted. I'm going in Meso today, MESO. Is this a Chinese stock? It looks like an ADR, so it must be a Chinese stock. Or it might be oh wait, is it a, must be an Asian stock. I'm not sure exactly where exactly, but I'm assuming that you're going to take a long position in Meso. I generally avoid trading stocks that are sitting in moving averages and I'll tell you another reason why I wouldn't take this trade right now. Between the swing high and the swing low, this is sitting in the middle, which means it could go either down or up. And I don't feel comfortable doing that. I like to buy things at swings. I'm a swing trader. So if you're playing this to the upside, I think there is a case to be made because of the volume. This was a huge volume candle. And the on balance volume is just like gone up, but I would be careful, so proceed cautiously. And you still have the 50 moving below the 150 and the 200 here. I would wait for at least the 50 to cross over the 150 like this, and then you start your long position up. So that's just based on technicals. Can we get a technical breakdown of target? Sure. TGT. So, ooh, okay. So let's look at a daily first. Now, whenever I see something like this, and I must express this as really carefully, if you see a volume candle that's green, which doesn't tell you whether it's bullish or bearish, and then you see OBV pointing downward like that, you have to look on the lower time frame to confirm your hypothesis. Okay. So this is one of those other cases where I'm telling you. Let's assume this is the support and this is the resistance. It's trading in the middle. I really don't like playing target at this point because you can't know if it's going down or it's going up. The volume has been flowing out like crazy, which means there is a pressure on the stock to be sold simply because there's too much supply and no demand, right? You see the volume is very low. However, you'll have to see how this pans out. So I personally won't take a position or a target, but let's look at the 1 minute chart to see what's going on over here. What happened yesterday? So it seems to me like volume is flowing overall out, right? If you like do a moving average out of OBV, it's pointing downward. And it seems to me like the stock price is also in a downtrend, right? You see how the, let me show you what I mean. You see how the candlesticks keep hitting the moving averages and coming back down? It's using the moving average as a resistance point. So this could continue to fall down. I think that there's a bearish, it's going to continue being bearish until we can see anything change over here. Just want to see, okay, SPY is continuing to rally over here. So I think target's bearish more than bullish right now. And I think I would wait for a confirmation for the 50 moving average to curve back down again, and then play this to the downside at $90. You could buy like 95 puts, or you could buy like 97 puts, but wait for the confirmation. This green candlestick throws a lot of things off over here. Let's see, always great info. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate you. What do you think about NE? What do you think about NEE? They reported 2 days ago. I was looking at NEE yesterday, actually. NEE seems to be in a downtrend, or rather, it seems to have some bearish momentum right now. But I like this stock in a long-term basis. It's a utility stock. If you look at it on the 5 minute, you can see what I'm saying. It's entered a bearish kind of a pattern. Yesterday, it rallied for some reason, and it's back down again. What we will need is a break below this level at 240 to continue the bearish momentum, or we need a break above 244 to continue the bullish momentum, and then 248 would be the testing. So that will be the key levels to watch here. Another thing to take into account is on balance volume is pointing down. Even though we had some volume that came in, look, the volume is lower than where we have been in the past few days. And volume continues to flow out of this stock. So we can definitely see there's bearish pressure on NEE. So I would play this to the downside more than the upside right now, just based on what the technicals are telling me. However, as I said, I like this stock for the long run. If you look at it on daily, you can see it's kind of like it's a bullish kind of a pattern, but it could come down to this kind of a level over here. So just be careful with this. Don't play it. And the worst thing about it is consolidating really super hard on this level. So the more you bet on this to swing higher, your theta is just going to kill your contracts. So don't play a short expiry with NEE. If you want to play NEE, you got to play like September or even December. Go super far out. Don't buy short expiries. It's not going to work. Okay, that pen is better. Yeah, I know, I realized that. I'll use the pen for drawing next time. Can I get your opinion on MA? That's MasterCard. I want to buy puts, but AXP beating earnings scares me. Thank you. Okay, let's look at it. AXP did beat earnings. Yes, I saw that earlier. Yeah, I agree with you. This would be a put play. Very straightforward put play here. In fact, this is a good one to play puts, but I do agree with you. I agree with your analysis that American Express beating earnings may throw this off. The way I look at it, this may be a play to the upside if earnings beat. So I would say don't play the earnings, or maybe make the move after earnings. When is earnings? 28th of April, and we have Tuesday next week. Yeah, don't get into this trade right now. My advice to you is wait after the earnings and see what happens and play it accordingly. So here's the case for, and I agree with you why this is bearish. 50 moving average clearly below the 150 moving average. Candlesticks being used as a resistance point over here. And then try to break this support, which has now become resistance. If you can see that, this green dotted line at this 260 level, 260-ish level, was support and now has become resistance. You can see it's failing to break this level, and I can see that OBV has just been going down. So you can expect this to come back down if there is a super bearish play here. However, with American Express beating earnings, and if MasterCard beats earnings, then you may see some kind of bullish momentum for the stock. So the earnings may be the thing that be a catalyst for the stock to recover. So that's the way I look at MasterCard. Do not buy into this right now. Wait for the earnings to pass and then make your move based on what the earnings was. It'll be far more simpler, and you will feel better about not playing it too, believe me. What's your thoughts on Micron? Micron is a very good stock to own right now, in my opinion. For long term, it's a great stock. Okay, so this has a bearish slant to it, but volume is showing bullishness. Oh, well, it's a mix actually. So this is like a 50-50 flip. Another one of those scenarios where I don't like buying here. Reason being, we're not at a high and we're not at a low. We're right in between, which makes us not have a risk to reward on either side. This could go either way and you would get stuck. You want to buy it on the low, or at least near the low, like in this zone or in this zone, right? Either puts here or calls here, right? You don't want to play something here and then get caught on both sides. So volume shows retention, moving average shows downward pressure, inability to break this, and it's been relying on this level as a resistance, shows that it may face some kind of downward momentum. So that's the idea with Micron. I would wait more to play Micron, but I wouldn't get into calls right now. Yes, always sniffing plugs, bro. Okay, Mezzo did that already. Hey, it's Master Blaster. Can ZM trace back to 160? Let's look at Zoom. Zoom has been on a crazy tear. It's been nuts, guys. Oh my goodness. Oh, easily it can trace back to 160. Super big volume coming in though. If you ask me, this looks very bullish. However, you got to confirm with the individual days. It can retrace to 160 for sure. However, you need to see where Zoom opens today, and you need to make sure that at 160 they would come back down over here. Let's also see if Zoom can retrace back under the resistance level and then come back down to the moving average. That would be a better thing. So you got to look at puts there as well. We'll see how this plays out and follow Zoom closely. But I think that there is a higher chance for puts than for calls. And then let's see. You're welcome. PayPal. Okay. Do you mind doing a quick TA charting support and resistance and stop the watches on your watches for a day trade today? I want to see how you go about the process. Okay, that's Snap. This puts a good idea. How do you feel about? Okay, great. Let's look at PayPal first. PYPL. Okay, PayPal looks interesting. PayPal looks like it's bullish from the first view. Building nice bullish momentum, moving average curving up, We want to see a break of this 50 over the 150 and 200 to establish it. However, I feel like by that point, it's already going to be at 124. So this may be actually a nice play. However, you want to wait for the next corrective wave down before playing this up to the upside. On balance volume showing really nice inflows here. I like it. I like this play actually. However, the only thing about it that sucks is we kind of got late to the party here. This should have been entered somewhere around here actually, which means we lost out like a couple of dollars, like $3-4, which is actually not that bad considering if you want to take it for a day trade. But wait on the next move down and then buy it on the next corrective wave. It's definitely not going to go up like that. I don't think it will. You got to wait for the next wave down and then get the next correct wave upward so that you can capitalize on that. And then what else is the other one? Let's have a look at this. You're welcome, man. You're welcome. Do you mind doing a quick TA charting support and resistance on stock that will be on your watch list for a day trade? Okay. So, I mean, we could use the watch list that's on option string. I hope that's been posted now. Let's have a look and see if it's there. Oh, I don't think it's out yet. Okay. Let me see. Maybe the watch list will come out later. Well, on the watch list today, I have Beyond for sure. Roku is another one that I'm looking at. I like the prospect of possibly waiting for Roku to make a move up and then shorting it down. I'm looking at Roku puts. However, we got to see because the thing about Roku is it also follows market momentum, and the momentum is now going upward. We're looking at more bullish momentum than bearish momentum. So I like the prospect of shorting Roku when we can get bearish momentum back in the market to play it back to the moving average. And then, honestly, those are the two that I'm watching today. And then as I find more stuff, I will call it out on the chat. That's what I usually do. Let's see if there's anything else. Are Disney puts a good idea? Disney puts were a good idea. Now I don't know so much. Let's see. I believe it was a good idea at like well, actually, Disney might still be a good short, but the problem is I think that it's going to make a move up before it comes down, and I don't want to get caught in this. I feel like it's going to try and make a run at the moving average with the upward momentum of SPY, and then it's going to drop down. So I would wait for SPY's momentum to switch from bullish to bearish. As I said, we're in a head and shoulder pattern, right? So you can buy Disney puts, but don't buy them today. Buy them maybe on Monday or buy them on Tuesday when the momentum starts to shift the other way. When Disney pushes up, start taking positions in puts. So yeah, I would say Disney puts would be a good play sometime this week or next week for sure. Start taking a small position and building into it slowly. How do you feel about WLL? Thanks for your input. You're welcome, man. Puts on Netflix. You're welcome. Zoom, good swing trade. What are your thoughts on? Okay, so let's see. How do you feel about WLL? Let's look at what WLL is. Petroleum. Oh man, I would avoid trading petroleum. Nope. I'm not even going to trade this. It's ridiculous. Like this is crazy. I don't know. This kind of a setup. First of all, with such a huge sell-off, and then a lot of buying coming, but then didn't even make a difference to the price of the stock. I would stay away from this one. Unfortunately, it's also too low price, and I bet the market cap is below 10 billion, which is my criteria to trade any stock. You're welcome. Puts on Netflix. Let's look at Netflix. I am leaning bullish for Netflix, but let's see. Maybe it might be primed. Oh yeah, you could definitely take some kind of puts on this one. Yeah, you could play Netflix puts. I see the case for them to retrace back to this 390 level-ish, maybe even 395. But make sure that you buy it for a long expiry. Make sure you buy it for like at least 50 days out. and then play the puts at like 390 or 395, this level right here. I see the case for, you have on balance volume coming out, even though, and you can see it's far extended out on the daily chart. So there's a play here to play the downside for sure. Zoom, a good day trade. Sorry, swing trade. I honestly, this is a tough one, man, because it's just recently broken out of this resistance, and that's a little, it's a little concerning to me. So I want to wait to see what Zoom does today and then make my decision. How about we revisit Zoom on Monday, and then you can ask the same question again. What are your thoughts on SPY for these upcoming days? I just mentioned it earlier. There is a head and shoulder pattern on SPY with the shoulder. This is the shoulder, this is the head, and another shoulder, which is a bearish pattern. If we can break this resistance, which is the 38.2 fib retracement, then we will see downside pressure. If we break above this high at this, the high of SPY, the natural high, then we will see upside. So that's what I see on SPY right now going forward. What do you think about GLD and SA? Gold is bullish right now, in my opinion. It's been bullish for a while, and I think that gold is going to continue being bought up. What should we call for beyond expiry? If you're doing a day trade, I would do the 5-1s. If you're doing a swing trade, I would do 5-8s, but I wouldn't chase beyond. It's really overextended at this point. Really be careful when you're buying beyond calls right now. By the way, thank you guys for being here at the stream. I really appreciate all of you guys that are here, supporting me and, being here, giving me your time, giving me your likes. If you haven't liked, please go like the video. It really helps me out. YouTube's algorithm kind of appreciates the likes, and subscribe if you haven't. Honestly, it also means the world to me to know that you guys are listening to what I'm saying, and it helps you guys, because this is my passion and this is what I like to do. So I hope that it kind of helps you out. I'm having such a hard time following. I need to learn more. Yeah, if you are having a hard time following, you might, also, so I wanted to mention something to you guys. I had made a post on Instagram for somebody who requires really one-on-one mentorship. I have did this 14 days of growth program. It's essentially 14 days of, I have a little bit more time in my hands right now because my job has kind of cut some of my hours down because of the pandemic, and they've cut my pay. So I'm trying to supplement my income with some side hustles. And essentially I'm going to help you guys to learn personally, one-on-one, and then also in a group setting, where you'll have some guidance with paper trading before embarking on a real money account. And then also a WhatsApp group where you have access to me 24/7, and a recording of our meetings sent to you every time we meet, as well as my weekly playbook, which I will share on the WhatsApp group with everybody. So I'm starting this mentorship program, and I released it yesterday. I put it on Instagram, and if you're interested in it, for option swing members, it's only going to cost $147, and for regular members, it's going to be $197. If you want to sign up for this, let me know. Hit me up in the DMs on Discord, or message me on Instagram on Everyday Growth Advisor, and we can talk further and see how I can help you to grow and learn from the basics. If you really feel like you need somebody to help you out from step by step, I think that may be a good move for you. So far I have about 9 people who have signed up, and I'll be looking to add a few more people today. They're just waiting on some payments. And yeah, I hope that some of you may see some value in it, and then if you do, hit me up and we can work something out. Okay, I appreciate all of you guys being here. I don't see any more questions, so I'm gonna end the live stream here. Happy trading to all of you guys, and have a good day. Thank you.